Remember when you told me you believe.
Welcome, everyone, to the River's Edge. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Adam Sedlack. He is the president of UFC Gyms. Thank you so much for coming.
It's my pleasure. I'm on River's Edge, for heaven's sakes. How could I say no?
Woohoo! I know, it's exciting. So I wanted to have you on board. It's funny that today, the lockdown day, is the day you and I interview, but I wanted to talk to you about your gyms. First, I want to talk about UFC gyms, what they're about, and then talk about the
Sure.
lockdown, the impact on your business, on people's health. And then there was another, then just moving forward, like any advice you have for people in these times. So first of all, if we could get a little background on you and getting involved with UFC gyms.
Sure. So I've been in the fitness industry since 1994. I started with 24-hour fitness back in 94 and was lucky enough to be mentored by then the owner and CEO, Mark Mastroff. And so, through his leadership, I was able to relocate, move, and kind of drive for advancement in 20 different markets throughout the U.S. and um, became a divisional president with 24-hour in Texas and Florida and the Midwest. And soon after that, Mark sold the company in 2005 and negotiated an exit in 2007. And Mark was really good friends with Lorenzo Fertitta and Dana White, who owned the UFC at that point. And they decided to start a fitness concept based on how the UFC athlete likes to train. And so, yes, I didn't understand it either, right? It didn't make sense to me that how could we take mainstream where people are getting the crap kicked out of each other? It didn't make sense. It didn't connect. The dots didn't connect for me. So Mark said, "Hey, go watch a UFC fight, or I'm sorry, a UFC training camp, and maybe that will help you connect the dots." So I had an opportunity to do that, and I watched. It was incredible what I saw, because what you witnessed was one athlete that would enter these training grounds, and you had performance coach, jiu-jitsu coach, boxing coach, a shrink sometimes, a nutritionalist. You had all these incredible coaches, and their one shared goal, their one North Star, was to make that fighter the best version of themselves before they entered into the octagon. And at that point, it really connected with me, is that if you could figure out a way to create communities and gyms where it was really about finding the best version of the consumer's self, where they could really find what they're made of through different coaches and different personalities, that we could have something special. So we took what is great about UFC athletes preparing for a fight, and we took what's great about like a 24-hour fitness or an LA Fitness or a Lifetime Fitness with all the equipment that they have, and we merge those two areas together. So now you walk into a gym, you'll have a UFC gym, you'll have great equipment, you'll have great classes from Zumba to cycling to body pump, but we'll also have boxing, jiu-jitsu, and different things, different programming to really make sure that a consumer can have different modalities of training to keep them motivated and interested in continuing to work out. And then we brought in kids too, right? Because we thought that the opportunity in the gym space is that it's very adult-centric, but not really youth-centric. And so we decided to bring in kids programming as well, so that way mom and dad work out and kids can also work out. And so that all came together, and we started our first gym in Concord, California in 2019, and now we're in 37 countries around the globe in development. And we're currently in this 4-month next 4-month period, we're going to be opening 13 new company-owned stores. And so,
Wow.
which is a little bit of a risk during COVID, but
Right.
we're so bullish on the brand, and as importantly, we're bullish on our people and our team to be able to manage through the adversity and challenges that we're all going through together.
So the kid portion, do they have their own little gym?
They do. They have a little gym. We're building little turfs and little bag rooms, and it's made with soft goods. But we also bring them out into some of the bigger parts of the gym, and like they'll go, like we have octagons in some of our gym. We'll throw them all in the octagon so they can go in and not just train and exercise. With kids, you got to make it fun, and you got to make it incredibly entertaining so they want to come back. The trouble is if you create classes for kids and it's very serious, they sometimes will lose interest very quickly. So there's a science to making sure that they stay motivated and interested.
I saw you're a psychology major, so it goes hand in hand with your career choice.
Well, I would say that that psychology major is a very, very fine line. It was me trying to be athletic in college and trying to find a path that would get me through college. I unfortunately probably did not take college seriously, so I can't say that I'm overly educated. If I didn't have the fitness industry, I don't think I could survive in any other industry.
But it's such a mental game, the fitness industry. So that's why it goes hand in hand.
It is.
So when I first heard UFC Gym, I was thinking more like a CrossFit, but it's much more than that. It sounds like.
It intersects what's great about CrossFit, because CrossFit, what did they do well? And really you go back to 2008, 2009, they were able to bring together a great fitness community, right? It was really the first boutique that came out and drove community. They were able to scale that pretty significantly. So yeah, we took the best of what CrossFit did and we created a similar program called Daily Ultimate Training, which is, it's somewhat like CrossFit, but it's built by NASM. And so there's more mechanisms in there of safety. But yeah, CrossFit's a great example of a fitness trend that created community, but a little bit more boutique-ish.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I had, well, I belong to 24-hour fitness here in the Bay Area, in San Jose. Yeah. I live in the Bay Area. I looked up UFC. You do have one up here. You have one in Sunnyvale.
Well, there's going to be an announcement that there's going to be another one built in a 40,000 square foot gym built in San Jose. We're going to announce it in late December. And I'll give you a hint. It's in a mall, a very high performing mall that has an Apple store and a Cheesecake Factory. So you can do the math and figure that out.
I would wish it was San Jose or Valley Fair, but I think you're talking about Oak Ridge. They both have, maybe there's no Apple store in Oak Ridge. I don't remember. No it must be Valley Fair. No Valley Fair would be awesome. I can't picture this. Unless Valley Fair has space for a 40,000 square foot gym.
Used to be they're opening a new furniture store, and then we're to the left of it, and I can't remember what the use used to be, but there's also a movie theater. Yeah, there's also a movie theater in the mall, and it's a great mall, and I think we're going to do exceptionally well there.
Yeah, that mall is expanding. They are night and day different than they were a few years ago. They're constantly changing.
Yeah.
Now that I know what it is.
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm excited because my 24-hour, I don't love it. It's not great. It's just, we don't have a lot of options in the South Bay.
They're having some complications with how they're dealing with their Chapter 11. And of course, this is subjective in my opinion, but I was with 24-hour for 17 years, right? So I have even though I'm not with them anymore, there's always that emotional connection because that's how I started in the industry. And they're definitely having some complication getting through the challenges of Chapter 11. And we'll see how, they fare at the end of the process.
Yeah, there are nicer 24 hours. The ones in Texas are really nice. There's one in Plano. When I go to Texas for work, I work out. It's really nice.
Yeah. They just we're actually looking at a site in Plano that they just shut down and rejected. And so I don't know if it's the same one, but we're looking at actually acquiring it. We are about to announce 2 sites in Dallas and Allen, Texas, and North Richland Hills. And so those will be starting pre-sale December 1st.
Oh, nice. The Allen one, is it a takeover or is it a brand new location?
It's a brand new location, but it used to be a gym and we're renovating it. And so it's almost 40,000 square feet, 2 floors, really a pretty site. And so we're excited about it.
Yeah. I used to go to Allen. That's where I would go for work. And there's a 24-hour fitness right there a mile away. That sounds like it's different.
No, that's probably the location.
Oh, it is. They closed because of COVID then. Okay.
Yeah. So look at you, San Jose, Allen. We're here to support you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, in Arizona, you used to be there, but then they all got bought out by that purple brand. I can't think of it.
LA Fitness.
Oh, maybe it is LA Fitness.
Yeah. LA acquired 24-hour in Phoenix about, I don't know, 5 years ago, but a lot of those have since closed down. We're looking at a site right now in Tempe. And so it's not something that is signed or very serious, but we're looking at it.
I used to live in Albuquerque in Arizona. So that's when
we do have a gym in Albuquerque right now. It's a smaller, more boutique-ish type of gym. So it's about 10,000 square feet and they have some killer classes out there. So that's a franchise club and they do a great job out there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you guys, out of your members, do you say most of them take classes? Are they there for the classes or they work out on their own, or what's?
I think it's a combination. I think a lot of people join because of how great the classes are. I mean, if you think about the world of fitness, it really became boutique-ish over the last 3 to 5 years, right? And so what's great about UFC is we were really the first organization that came out and opened up these big gyms and middle-sized gyms and smaller gyms that were all centered around the value proposition of classes and coaches and trainers. And so in some of our bigger clubs, we have 600 classes per month. And so what that does is it takes the best of what you find in boutiques. So if you want cycling, or if you want boxing, or you want kickboxing, or a CrossFit type of class, or whatever it might be, we have that same experience, but we all have it in one place. So now you don't have to buy multiple memberships. You can buy one membership and take any class you want.
I love it. So it's a month-to-month membership that you guys offer.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm excited. So the one in San Jose, when is it open?
We're going to start pre-sale in December. It probably won't open for workouts till April or May.
It's going to be that soon?
Yeah, but I'm going to get you in there. We're going to have to do some type of live video from the Octagon.
Oh my God. I'll get my ass handed to me, right?
I'll make sure I pick the right person that can give you,
It's not going to be you?
Maybe. I don't know. You might be able to take me though. So I don't know if I want to challenge you.
I don't know what Octagon is, by the way.
Octagon is where UFC fights happen when they have fight night. And so it's like a caged
like
octagon.
Sparring?
No, Octagon's like you walk into when they have UFC fights.
Yeah.
Where the fights happen, that's the Octagon.
And what are you doing there?
You fight.
That's
not in our gyms though. Not our gyms. We'll just walk in and we'll spar. And so I'll let you hit me a couple times to see if I can survive.
Oh Lord. Okay.
there's no fighting in our gyms, and so it's more about creating an experience where when a UFC athlete goes to a fight and they step into that octagon, it's a caged octagon. We want to have a similar experience but do it in the workout space. And so you kind of feel an electric vibe where you can go and hit mitts with somebody, or you can do some type of personal training inside that space.
All right. Well, I look forward to that.
All right. Will do.
I have my questions here on the left. So
okay.
This is one thing I was going to ask about the mask. The masks are awful having to work out in those. My gym, I guess they all require them, right? Do you require them at your gym?
It's all based on the mandates of the county and the state. And so obviously California is steering that way where it's 100% mask required. The Orange County market in California until yesterday, you didn't have to wear a mask, but that's now being modified. And so it really is driven by state requirements. Unfortunately, so many states are inconsistent with what their expectation is. So it's a little bit difficult. I got to give credit to a lot of the counties, because the counties are trying to do their best work at making business work with the health and safety of people that live in those counties. But unfortunately, in my opinion, the governor is being very inconsistent with the way that he's leading California, and it's creating issues and challenges.
Yeah, and today we can get into the lockdown thing. So today in California, are you having to close your gyms in California now?
Yes, we're having to close all of them, but you know what we're going to do? If we can't take it inside, we're going to take it outside. So we're going to relocate equipment in our parking lots. And
good for you.
Well, I mean, listen, we know what people aren't talking about, and this is what is most concerning to me, Kelly, is that people that are going through problems with this pandemic are generally in a position that they're not healthy, meaning that they have bad immune systems, they have underlying conditions, and that's driven by lack of activity and exercise. We've also been in a situation where we've been recommended to stay at home all the time and be on nothing but Zoom calls and video calls, and you start living in this two-dimensional world. And so your mental capacity and the way that you experience life changes, and depression's increasing, suicide's increasing, all these things are happening. Well, gyms are one place that you can step away from your house. You can go into a clean, safe environment that's built for, what other place already had janitorial constantly cleaning? What other place can you, with your membership card, check in consumers, so if somebody does have COVID, you can trace it? Properly run gyms are the safest place on planet Earth to be during a pandemic, and it has incredible benefit for the consumer to deal with all the stresses that we're currently going through. And so what we didn't want to do is do two things. One, we're trying to not furlough our managers. We're trying to keep them employed during the holidays, which is difficult when we're forced to
Yeah.
shut down. And then number two, we're trying to take care of our customers and give them a place where they can go exercise their mind and exercise their body to become, to at least try to make it through this COVID period and not fall into this state of depression. Suicide rate up 200%. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough time right now. So we have to all work together to try to keep exercise as part of the conversation.
It is crazy. So how are you going to handle that being outside? Is it going to be a tent around it if like it rains or?
It's kind of like going to the circus, right? Have a big tent with walls on it, and we're going to try to get some heaters. And in Southern California, it's not as bad from a climate perspective, but Northern California will definitely have issues. We have a club in Concord, in the East Bay, and a club in Sunnyvale that you talked about earlier. And so we certainly have to make expectations around those facilities, but we'll figure it out, and we'll do our best to stay open. And at some point, with the inconsistencies of the way that we're getting direction from the government, they may force us to stop outdoor workouts too, but let's hope that we don't get there.
Oh no, yeah, we at least have outdoor eating is still open right now. And
well, it's going to be difficult though. I mean, do you want to go eat at 7 p.m. When it's raining and cold outside? Probably not.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, last night I went out and there's a big tent around, so it's like indoor outdoor eating. You're basically indoor because you're all covered except for the one way where you walk in.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make any sense.
How was your experience?
I enjoyed it.
If it's interesting. I just posted on my LinkedIn account. I went to my Costco by my house, and literally, I've never seen it so busy. It was the busiest I've ever seen Costco. And you have people running into each other, touching products and everything else.
Right.
And it just amazes me that an environment like that can be okay. Or for that matter, if you go to San Diego, Kelly, I don't know if you're into strip clubs, but you can go to a strip club because they serve food. And so strip clubs are open in San Diego, but gyms can't be open. Costco can be packed, but gyms can't be opened. And these poor restaurants that are out there that are doing a really good job, they're struggling. And they did a great. I'll tell you what, many restaurants did such a great job on spacing and cleaning their in the inside of their places. People are wearing masks till you eat, so they're socially distanced. They did a great job, but they're not taking that into consideration. They're basing all the data on how nightclubs are, creating COVID issues. And so that's where it gets down to measurement and how we're reviewing and how we're looking at, how every business is treating this differently. And I, in my opinion, we got to start trusting people to operate and run business in a safe way. And if they can't run it safe, then yeah, you should shut down. But if you can prove that you can run it safe, man, let them run it and let business thrive and let people have a place to go to have that mental break.
Yes. And the gym is massively important for that because it's the mental and physical release you get from that. And the benefit is, I mean, without that, like you say, the depression rate goes up, people are getting sick, they don't have a place to go. And especially in winter right now, it's even more challenging because you're not, people, you can go outside and hike and do whatever when it's warm out.
It's not just the gym. I mean, listen, I wanted to go to a movie last weekend. And if theaters have 50% occupancy, they can do it correctly, and they have ventilation in there, and there's ways to do this, but we're not taking the time to look at every industry and figure out safe ways to run every industry. And that's laziness. That's laziness by our governor, and that's laziness by the office. And we need to change the way we're looking at things and meet people halfway. And I think that's kind of the problem of our society right now, right? Is you have far left, you have far right. They're not listening to each other, where the majority of the population is right in the middle. The majority of the population have characteristics that go on the left and right, and they're in the middle. But there's two polarizing sides of the conversation that are not listening and that are only talking, and we just can't meet in the middle.
Right. Yeah. The California is very far left, so that's not great for lockdowns.
No, it's not great for lockdowns, and then the people that are on the far right are doing things that aren't rational. And listen, I'm a Republican. I don't mind saying that on this platform, but I also have some views that sometimes are on the left, and I have very, obviously, business views that are on the right. And I think that's where most of America is, though, right? They're kind of centered, and it's just about being able to talk on both sides and figure out a way to make things work.
Now, it does feel like this is massive overkill. There's a very high survival rate, 99.4%, or it might be 0.6. And we're going crazy over this. So have you guys had to close any gyms since COVID?
No. So on the company-owned stores, we're fine. We're in a very good position. We did a relocation of one to a bigger site, and then on the franchise side, certainly some had to close they were in a different financial situation, and yeah, they had to close, and it put them in a difficult spot. And it's 100% centered by the way that the rules that they were provided by the government, and because they decided to respect the government, it put them in a situation that some of them couldn't recover.
Right. Are your international locations, are they company owned or both company and franchise?
No, they're all, what we do is we work on a master partner. It's master franchisor in each market. And so as an example, we have a master franchise partner in China, and he oversees the entire country. He's going to open up 100 locations over the next 10 years. We have that in the UK. We have that in other parts of the globe, right? Australia and so forth. And so each one of them own the business, and then we support them from an operational perspective.
Okay. So is that considered a franchise then, the master partner?
They're considered a master. Yeah, it's considered a franchise, and they own the franchise in that country, and then they can sub-license and franchise out to other people.
And then the one in San Jose is going to be company owned?
It'll be run like a company-owned store, but it actually is going to be a franchisee's gonna a high net worth franchisee's gonna own it.
Oh, who's that?
Oh, can't tell you that yet.
Maybe when we're not recording, you can tell me.
Yes, but it's going to be the corporate. So my operational team that runs the company-owned stores will be running that location.
Okay, I'm so excited. I have a new gym to join.
You'll love it. It's a very unique experience.
Oh my God! So I'm going to make sure I answered I've asked you. Did you sign the petition to remove Governor Newsome? By the way.
I tried to sign it 10 times, but they only let me sign it once. Yeah, no, I did sign it, and listen, the governor, all people want him to do is listen and come to the table and have a discussion, and he's not willing to do that, and that's the frustrating. I'm part of the California Fitness Alliance, who's doing a great job at trying to communicate to the governor. We actually had one forum where he did listen, and he agreed to look at science and data and information, and then he never followed through on his promise. And so instead of going by the facts and the science that we provided him, he decided just to lump us together with everybody else, and it put us in a difficult position. So yeah, I did sign it out of the fact, not because he's a left-wing liberal Democrat. It's because he just won't listen, period. And if you're not going to listen, I don't care what side you're on, left or right, it just makes it hard to follow that type of leader.
Yeah, no, understandably. The way he's handled the lockdown, I don't know anyone who's happy with that. The small businesses are getting run in the ground.
I mean, I know I got a lot of Democrat friends that aren't happy with him. And,
yeah,
I think that it's California is, and I have the benefit of looking at this across the US and across the globe. I would say California is the worst run state around the globe right now.
Worse than New York?
Worse than New York. At least Como is coming out and listening to people and providing feedback. I may not like all the answers he provides, but at least he's providing feedback and he's providing communication. I do think there's opportunities with the decisions that he's making, but at least we know where he stands. With Governor Newsome, he's just all over the place like a yo-yo.
Right. Yeah. So those of you who do live in California and want to sign it, it's www.recallgavin2020.com. You have to sign it and then mail it.
Yes.
But moving forward then to this, how are gyms going to manage? I mean, not everyone can go move into a parking lot. I mean, there's a lot of them may have to close down with this new lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of people are in an unfortunate situation. It looks like 30 to 40% of all gyms could close permanently. 24 Hour Fitness is in Chapter 11 right now, and they've already shut down permanently 100 plus locations. Based on how their bankruptcy petition goes, they may shut down many more. Which 24 at one time at its peak was one of the best around the
Yeah.
globe, and now it's just sad to see what's happened. And then there's other great companies out there that are put in situations because of the way this is being run, and they're not able to survive, and it just makes it challenging and unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are doing the outdoor. That'll be awesome. You're gonna do it in like Boston and those places too.
Hopefully in Boston, they can still do workouts inside, but no, it's
Oh, that's true. It's just
yeah,
California.
yeah. I mean, we're open in New York right now, right? So in Long Island and Manhattan, we have 2 clubs out there, and we're open for operations.
Okay. And do you have any advice for people that are in California that can't get there, maybe not a member of your gym, and what they can do to stay healthy mentally and physically?
Well, I mean, we have something called UFC Fit on the Go, that is an experience that allows you to feel like you're working out in the club, and it keeps you active. And so if you're into doing classes and so forth, we're offering that on our website. And then we can set up where we can send you stuff like TRX straps and kettlebells and those types of things to stay active. You can also, obviously in California, we're fortunate that we have a lot more sun. And so obviously outdoors is a great opportunity just to get out and do something different. But listen, YouTube has 8 million posts now on different workouts. I mean, you could put in everything, and a workout's going to come up. And so the number one health enemy is procrastination, people just being lazy and pushing it off. And that's in normal times. During COVID, because people are stressed out, they're just, resigning to the fact that they can't go to a gym. So it allows them to become even lazier. And I would say that this is the time of any times to deal with stress, that you have to stay active and fit, because it will improve and amplify your immune system. And if you do get COVID, it gives you a much better chance of fighting through it. As you spoke to earlier, Kelly, there is no the risk is really minimal on mortality, but there's still a risk of mortality, and people should still think about that and be thoughtful to others. But at the same token, take care of yourself, and there's ways to exercise, there's ways to get fit, there's ways to eat better, there's things that you can do right now to make sure that you're setting yourself up for prosperity as it relates to both physical and mental fitness.
Do you have any motivational videos you've made you can put on your website? You personally speaking and getting people pumped up?
We have I have my on social media. I do a lot on LinkedIn and Instagram and some stuff on Facebook, but I think it's more about the genuine, authentic conversation of just talking to people and making sure that they know that we're going to get through this, and we're going to get to the other side of this fairly quickly. And then obviously, in regards to just getting people fired up, I got incredible coaches and that are much better than me at doing that. I mean, they fire me up every time I see them. I was just in Miami last week, and spending time with the trainers out in Miami, and they are just on fire out there. And
I saw your pictures, on LinkedIn of those.
Yeah, they're so enthusiastic. They're having so much fun, and we got some good partners out in Miami as well. And so, yeah, I mean, it's in your mind, but we do have great coaches around the globe that are still, even the clubs that are shut down, we're keeping a lot of our trainers employed. And so, they're always open to helping people get inspired to hopefully get more fit.
Sounds like you have a different level of coaches that you hire at your gym than you would at any standard gym that you go to. More qualified, maybe.
We do. We have different levels, right? So there's these high level coaches that are great at boxing, kickboxing, and those types of things. And there's performance coaches that are great at just flat out personal training. And then there's a lot of people that are passionate about fitness, that love it, and they just love the space. And there's this kind of this entry level coach that allows people to come in and become a personal trainer with us because they're so passionate about it. So once we can bring education to them, they become some of our best trainers because of the high passion level that they have. By the way, Kelly, are you sick?
I have COVID now. Why? Because I keep wiping my nose.
I see you wiping your nose, so I'm like, okay,
well,
is it allergies or is it?
I have the cold air coming in. My window's open, and it's making my nose run.
Okay, all right.
I'm not sick.
I should
you
make you.
Catch anything.
I should make you wear a mask right now in our interview.
Not happening. So, I was going to ask about the coaches. Now I forgot. You made me forget because you got me off on my nose.
Are you going to talk about their qualifications? Or?
Yeah, because I didn't like working out at the gym with other trainers because they're like, okay, let's go to this machine and then this machine. And then it's so boring and monotonous. I just not into that. But you have different options.
Well, that's what makes our gym so great is because of the different modalities that we offer with boxing, kickboxing, HIIT classes, cycling classes. There's so many different there's so many different modalities that you can do in our clubs. And so if you want to change your workout every workout, the trainer is certified and trained on how to do that. And so you're right, people get tired and bored. And so, a great trainer, not only do they know how to maximize the modalities, but they also know how to almost be a psychologist and work with you through the session.
Necessary. Right? The mental is so important. I mean, that's the biggest. That's the challenge getting in there.
Yeah.
So what about nutrition? What are your thoughts on nutrition? What's your diet consist of?
Well, let's not talk about my diet right now because it wouldn't be the best example.
Now I want to know, what did you eat yesterday?
There's a little bit of clear alcohol that's part of my diet on a regular basis. So I won't talk too much about that. But a great diet and a good diet is really just about being conscious of what you're eating. Nobody expects perfection unless you're, competing on a bodybuilding stage. What you want to do is be responsible. And so, eating bad foods is okay sometimes. It's all in moderation. So you really got to look at proteins, fats, and carbs. And protein's the building block for muscle. And you need fat in your diet, for your hair and nails and to satiate your hunger. You need carbs for energy. There's a science to it. We work with a organization called .fit. It's DOTFIT.com. And we do menu plans and we do food recommendations and we figure out where your nutritional gaps are, and we're able to identify those gaps and provide you recommendations around supplements. So it's really about making sure you get the right type of nutrients to support your activity, your physical activity, to make sure that you're not losing muscle, that you're gaining muscle, to make sure that you're keeping good bone density and doing those things. And so it's really about frequency of eating, making sure you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and making sure you have good snacks, and making sure that you feel comfortable with your habits at the end of the day, because so much of it is about the decisions that you make and what you put into your mouth. It's very easy for us to default to just bad foods because we're so busy, and those drive-throughs are so cheap, aren't they? And so you really have to make a conscious effort. If you're going to go through a drive-through, just eat a grilled chicken sandwich, and instead of the Whopper. And if you're going through, Wendy's, don't be afraid of the salads, and just make smart choices as much as you can. And every once in a while, go crazy, go to In-N-Out and get what do they call it? The 4x4 and the fries and the drink, and go ahead and binge for a day, but just get back to being as responsible as you can. And then really base the nutrition based on your workouts and the activity that you provide every day.
So you are not promoting because there's so many diet, the carnivore diet, the keto, and you guys do more the balanced approach when you do recommendations.
I've never met anybody that's on one of these diets that's on that diet 5 years later.
Permanently.
No, they're all, listen, the world is based on marketing campaigns, right? And all these diets are good diets. Don't get me wrong. There's reasons and rationale behind all of them. But it's a marketing strategy to get you into their platform, to get you into their funnel, and to get you enjoying, what they do, and then hopefully they can sell you foods to continue to drive revenue per consumer. Really, the key is moderation, eat responsible, try to figure out how to eat based on how hard you work out and train or how many calories you burn. It's calories in versus calories out, and just try to be responsible 80% of the time. 20% of the time, screw up. If you want to have a
Yep.
glass of wine, if you want to have a shot of tequila, which I think Kelly, you probably would want to have that, then
Why?
go.
Why do you think I drink tequila?
I could dissent. I get the feeling that you don't mind taking down a shot of tequila once in a while. But
That's
my
funny.
point is, have fun and enjoy your life, but also just be as responsible as you can the majority of the time.
So last night I had margarita, so I did have tequila.
There you go. See, I sensed it. I felt it. Did you enjoy the margarita?
Oh my God, it's so good. I drank 2 of them, so then I was awake all night because I had alcohol in my system.
Do you prefer the lime, or what flavor do you prefer?
I do the Cadillac margarita.
You don't mess around. You go straight to Cadillac.
I don't fuck around.
You just get right to it. You just get right to it.
That's right. And then chips and salsa. It was, but I had a salad, so that made up for the chips.
I wouldn't say it made up for it, but because when you have chips and salsa on top of the Cadillac, that's a pretty big 1-2 punch. But it's okay. 20% of the time, have fun and enjoy your life. 80% be responsible.
I agree. I like that approach.
What'd you have for breakfast today?
Well, this is my breakfast so far.
Well, okay. Well, so now you know how much harm you just did to your body. The digestive system only works as fast as you feed it, right? So if you're not putting food in your stomach in the morning, you're basically telling your your metabolic rate, you don't need to get going. So you need to make sure you're metabolizing food, within 30 minutes after you wake up. So make sure that you get something into your stomach going forward.
That's interesting because I do a lot of research and they say the opposite, like skip breakfast and do intermittent fasting. So you don't ever do intermittent fasting.
No, it's bad for your blood sugar levels. It's overcompensating. You want to get some food in your stomach. You want your metabolic rate to increase. You want your metabolism to start digesting food, and you want to make sure that you're not spiking your blood sugar levels. And so what you're doing is your pancreas is probably over providing too much insulin right now, and you're going to have a blood sugar crash, and it's just not healthy. If you want to go, calories in versus calories out, for sure, you're burning more calories than you're taking in right now. But I'm telling you, at the end of the day, how you're fueling your body right now is through using muscle as energy, and you don't want to do that because muscle is what really burns body fat at the end of the day. And so I personally think you can look up any study you want to base it on what you're looking for. So I can take a look at how ice cream can help me lose weight. I bet there's a diet for that if you wanted to find one. Just be responsible. Try to get something in your stomach in the morning. Try to make sure that you're never, completely hungry and starving, because that means that you're not feeding your body correctly.
Oh, that's so interesting because I listen to a lot of Jason Fung, or I used to, his videos, and he's all about fasting and for health. So you're not on board with any of that?
I'm on board with that for a short period of time. If you want to go crazy and do something, I'm not on board with that for a lifestyle. A lifestyle is about trying to live to 100 years old and do it in a healthy way. And I'm just telling you, with the way blood sugar and pancreas and liver and your body works, and the way that your muscle needs nutrients to be able to survive, and remember, the muscle allows you to protect your bone density and other things. If you're interested in a long, healthy life, I think you have to be responsible in your habits and make sure that you're eating. You're not paying attention to all these different fads and these different polarizing diets, which can work, don't get me wrong, in short-term basis. Have a great lifestyle plan for the rest of your life and just stick to that.
So do you measure your calories? Probably not now. You know how much your average eating every day, how many calories or how much protein?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I've been, when I was incredibly active, so I weigh 240 now. I'm 6'5" though. So I'm taller. But when I was really training hard about 10 years ago, I was very lean. I got myself down to 190.
6'5", 190. Wow.
Yeah. And it was really about body fat percentage for me. And so, yes, I measured my calories in, which I was taking in 2,800 calories a day, and I was burning 4,500. And so I was measuring it pretty good, and I was having breakfast, lunch, dinner, and I was doing all that. The trouble with all these miracle diets, what people don't understand is just you got to be responsible with the way you're eating, and you just got to move and be active. And if you can just do those two things, that's all you need to do. You don't need to overcompensate. We're sitting here talking about the government overcompensating on COVID-19 and being inconsistent. Well, that's what people do with food and exercise too. You don't need to do that. Just be responsible and do things the right way. There is no shortcuts. I promise you. Yes, you can go. I can go stack up and take steroids for the next 6 weeks and put a lot of muscle on my body. But what will happen when I stop taking steroids? It goes away. Then it actually hurts my body worse. And so just you don't need to do all that, right? Just be responsible, make it a lifestyle, and do it the right way.
Well, you're going to be unimpressed with me then. In August, I did a 10-day water fast. Oh, no, it was 14 days, 14 days. And I lost a bunch of muscle, and it was not good for me.
No, I mean, yeah. And you see the scale and you go, wow, that's great. But if you think about it, right, what is it? The average pound of muscle burns 60 calories a day, 60 to 80 calories a day. The average pound of fat burns 12 calories a day, right? So think about this. And muscle requires food from protein to be able to survive. You starve your muscle, it starts to atrophy and it starts to diminish. And all of a sudden, your body's ability to burn calories goes away. So if you lost 10 pounds of muscle, now you're burning 600 less calories a day that you were burning before. And then that's how you put on more weight later. And so again, everything has its purpose, and I'm sure there's reasons why it's good for you to do it that that I don't know. But I had a colonoscopy a couple years ago, and I had to drink that awful whatever it was.
I heard it's bad.
It's bad. It's bad. And I completely flushed my entire system, and it kind of felt good to have my entire system flushed out for a weekend. But to do it 10 days, I don't know if that's something that is healthy for you to do to your body. And I don't know how your body would react to it after the 10 days.
Oh, I won't be doing that anymore. I did lose a lot of muscle, and it's just not.
Yeah.
But I tend to eat when I get hungry. I'm not trying to starve myself by any means.
That's what you want to do. Keep your metabolism working all the time. And again, even if you're only eating that fast foods, there's healthy options everywhere now, right? And so
Totally.
listen, America now is a fast food culture, and it's okay. Just make the right decision.
Are you in Newport Beach? Where do you live?
I am Newport. I'm in Orange County, Newport Beach.
Oh, nice. I was just down there a couple of weeks ago. I work actually, no, I went to Hermosa Beach. I wasn't in Newport. And then I went to a Trump rally in Beverly Hills. It was so fun.
How was it? Was it crazy?
Yeah, it was awesome. The Antifa and BLM showed up. That wasn't great, but the cops sent them on their way. But it was really fun. It's everyone having a good time. And
what's your view on the election?
Oh God, I think Trump has it.
You think they're going to give it to him?
Yes.
You're passionate. I like it. I like that you're passionate and you're all over it. But I don't.
You don't think so?
No. I think that ship sailed. I respect the movement, though. Right. I respect the movement, and I respect the fact that. I mean, listen. It's 50-50 for the most part. There's 4 million votes that separate, 5 million votes that separate them. But, this country's incredibly divided, and we have to figure out a way. I mean, listen, from a Republican point of view, we need to keep the Senate, right? So the two
Completely.
the 2 Senate seats in Georgia are very meaningful. And I'll tell you, some of the business and some of the changes that President Trump made from a business perspective has been some of the best things that I've seen. And some of his policies have been on point. The only challenge that in my opinion, that he did was his inability to communicate correctly, right? If he just was a little bit more empathetic and listened a little bit more with some of his policies that were just on point, man, I think he would have definitely got reelected. And it's unfortunate. And on the same token, all the way over there on the left, Biden is a little bit more moderate. Vice President-elect Harris is more extreme left. And so if the election stays the course, we need Biden to stay in presidency and not,
That's not happening.
You think they're going to exercise the 25th Amendment?
Completely.
Yeah. I mean, that's a risk.
I just can't fathom a world where that happens, where they're president.
I don't think, I got to think that it's not going to happen. And that might be naive of me to say that. But I'm hoping, A, that we keep control, Republicans keep control of the Senate, and B, if we're going to have a Democratic president, that Biden stays and that Harris doesn't step in. Now, if what you're saying is right, it's going to create more divide than ever before. Let's hope it doesn't get there.
Yeah, I know, because Trump's going to be president, so we don't have to worry.
Passion. That's great.
I love it.
It's great.
Well, we'll find out soon enough, won't we?
Yeah. Well, I've been keeping up on all the lawsuits. Most of them are being dismissed, and at this point, it looks like even if the ones that are still outstanding, he were to win, he would still lose on electoral votes. And so I just don't see there being a path that gets him into the presidency.
Sidney Powell is saying otherwise. We'll see.
Really? All right. We'll see.
Should I start sending you the information I get so we can?
You can feel free to send me anytime. I'd like to see it.
Do I have your email?
Actually, I shouldn't say that, but yes, I'll LinkedIn it to you.
Okay. Oh, I must say. Oh, I did email you to set it up.
Okay.
That's right. Okay.
Remember when you told me